What's up, everybody? Welcome to a brand new video of grounded tips and tricks. Now in this video I am going to try to keep it a little bit short, but before we get to that, I want to absolutely thank every single person who has become a subscriber in the last few weeks. Ever since I started posting more grounded content, more of you guys have come out of the woodworks and just love the channel. You hit the like buttons and you're subscribing to it, and it's absolutely incredible. Thank you guys so much. And it's just been a pleasure. So I'm going to keep the videos coming out, and as long as you guys keep loving them, I'll keep making them. So without further ado, and an amazing thank you, let's get to it. Right, tip number one, guys. I'm like freaking out right now. All right, great. Tip number one. Let's look here. These are my friends. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Food. Food is something that you will learn in this game. You have to pay attention to. Your hunger and your thirst are going to be two things that are going to piss you off the most, because you're going to be caught without food or water in the middle of the sand dune crab thing, and you're going to hate life. Granted, there's food and water over there, so you could probably find... Well, water's scarce over there, but food's there. Anyway, but there's benefits to food. So I'm not going to go into the benefits of like meals and like the meals you prepare in the oven. You'll find those every time you find... Oh, I didn't hit the mic. Every time you find one of the burgle chips, or a certain burgle chip, you'll find that there are cookbooks tied to that. And those meals do offer a lot better advantages if you make those meals, but those come with... There's a lot of different parts that you have to have. One, you have to have an oven. Two, you have to have different ingredients, and they're not so simple. But eating cooked meals over just like eating mushrooms on the ground, because mushrooms on the ground do not offer you anything other than they fill you up, and they take forever. They take a lot. I'm not picky. It doesn't really do a whole lot for you other than fill you up. Don't get me wrong, they're great in a pinch. Same with like aphid dew, nectar, stuff like that. Even the human food you find throughout the map, those help out a lot as well, but they don't really offer you a lot of benefits. But what can offer you benefits is just simply cooking your food. Having something as simple as a fire will help out greatly, and this takes nothing to make. Okay, it's very simple. It's a few pebbles, sprigs, and you're good to go. All right, and I think dry grass. All right, but eating one of these, just a simple weevil roast or an aphid roast, boom, fills you up a crap ton. But it also, boom, if you look down at the bottom there, gives you a bonus. All right, the bonuses help a lot. So what this basically means is that you had a delicious meal, and now it has provided you with a slow health increase. Not sure why I made it go away. Slow health increase, and your hunger will not deplete for 7 minutes. I think it's 7 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that, which is awesome. So that's 7 minutes and 40 seconds. You don't have to worry about your hunger depleting, and it's already up pretty high, so that's a benefit. What I like to do is have a few of them roasting here. Anytime I eat one, I usually have one kind of sitting in my inventory, so I'll just add it to there, so that way it's always kind of full. A little pro tip for you: if you leave food on the roaster and don't put it in your inventory, it will not rot. It will stay on here perfectly good until you take it off and put it in your inventory, which is why you saw I usually just consume them right off of this, so that way I don't have to worry about in the future. This is what I like to do. Jerky's not bad either. I got a little jerky rack outside here. Show you guys that. I do occasionally have jerky sitting up here, but this is usually for meals. I take this sometimes. Jerky's great because it doesn't rot, and I'll store them in here, but they don't rot. That's awesome, but they don't offer you the same benefits as roasted cooked food does. Remember that. So this is my little pro tip for you guys. Always have this kind of going. Replace it as soon as you can. If you can't always replace it, that's fine. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, mushrooms are great in a pinch. Aphid dew, great in a pinch. Human food out there in the wilderness, great in a pinch, but don't rely on it. Just take some time and roast some food. I did it for the longest time. I used to just keep stacks of like mushrooms in my inventory. That's stupid. And it's just not worth it, to be honest with you. And always have a dew catching net. You wanna be able to catch some water, fill this thing up with water. These are for my emergencies. If I'm always home, I always drink from this. I never drink from a canteen. So there you go with food. Moving on. All right, tip number two. Tip number two is something that took me forever to realize, and mainly because when I first started playing this game, crow feathers were they were, well, it's not even when I first started playing the game. So when the crow initially got introduced, his feathers dropped very sparingly and did not drop a lot. And I actually complained about this in a video I did a long time ago, that they needed to fix that immediately. And finally it is fixed, so you actually get quite a bit of feathers, and there's a ton of them that drop all over the map. So it's becoming, you know, you don't have to search for it that much. I don't know why I blinked for a freaking second. I'm like losing my mind over here. It's late. Leave me alone. All right. What I'm getting at is sleeping. All right. So I never built a bed. All right. I just had a tent. Yeah, I built an extravagant house, but I put a tent in it, or, you know, with the little clover tents. And I just slept in that because I wasn't wasting feathers on a bed. But nowadays, you don't have to worry about that. So there are benefits to making a bed. So as quickly as you can, I would advise you get your little house going. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, because you can relocate beds. So you could just move your bed if you build like a better room for it. But I advise you to sleep in a bed, and for one reason only: benefits. You get benefits for sleeping in a bed versus sleeping in a tent. Here's what it is. All right, so let's use this. Wake up at 9 o'clock in the morning. Great. It's gonna be bright and sunny. All right, we slept in a bed. Perfect. Doesn't show on this screen, but if you go here, you're gonna scroll over to your character, all the way down to the bottom. You're gonna see you have comfy thirst and comfy hunger. Both of these come from sleeping in a comfy spot, which grants you all day bonus for hunger, fullness, and all day bonus for your thirst saturation. So that means they tick a lot less for all day, and that is absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. It's because it'll be just less you have to worry about. So sleep in a bed. That's all I can tell you. Always get a good night's sleep, which is something I'm not doing right now, but, you know, do it in the game. Don't do it. You don't have to do it in real life, but do it in the game. Actually, you should probably do it in real life. Anyway, moving on. All right, number 3. This is gonna be a little bit of a what are we gonna call it? Like a little bit of fighting tip, or, you know. Oh hey, an arrow. Shoot there. A little bit of a fighting tip, and you can use this. This is gonna be primarily used for the bow. If you guys want to see any like melee tips later on, we can do that. But right now, this is gonna be used for the bow. All right, so this is like what I call the bait and switch. All right, so if you have an enemy like this who's gonna be particularly difficult and you're nervous about fighting him, you can hit him with that. You basically just need to get up to an elevation where they can't reach, and they run. So then you can just shoot and unload. Just as he walks away, every time he steps away, you can start unloading a little bit more on him. When he gets too close and you start getting a little bit afraid for your life, that's fine, it happens. Just take a moment, hop up here, and he starts going away again. Oh, right now he's fighting a weevil, which is cool, picking on the weevil. But this tactic works. You can also just start unloading on them. The moment you start shooting them, they start running away because they think that, oh, I can't reach him, so the game registers, oh, he's out of reach, so I need to get out of here because I'm getting killed. All right, but you can keep doing this back and forth with any creature in this game. Works with wolf spiders, works with these guys. Now, hey, he killed a bunch of these guys, so we'll pick them up too. Works with these stink bugs, works with everything. So this tactic is very helpful. Yeah, it's a little cheeky, and yes, it's, you know, whatever. People may call you a loser for doing this. I don't care. I don't care, all right? Sometimes these creatures are hard to deal with, all right? And this is how I choose to do it sometimes. So shut up. Anyway, this is a great tactic. The bow, the reason I argue that this is an okay tactic for the bow and for the crossbows and stuff like that is because on most creatures, most bugs, you can't avoid their attacks. It's set up for blocking. They don't allow you to block with the bow. So the only thing you can do is get into these elevated spots, fire, and then repeat. That's the only thing you can do. If they allowed me to block with the bow, that'd be different. I'm not saying you have to make it as tough as like a freaking shield, but I think I should be able to block with the bow. I should be able to turn it sideways and block an attack, but whatever. Beside the point. Anyway, that's a little tip and trick for that. If you guys want to use the bow, I love doing the archery side of it. I love making a cool shot from a distance or something like that. You know, obviously that was a bigger creature, so he's a little easier to hit. But the smaller things like pegging an aphid from a few meters away. That's really cool. But this is a great tactic to use if you're having difficulties with the bug. Get a bunch of arrows, get a bow, crossbow, whatever you want to do, and then just use the little bait and switch. Simple as that. All right, moving on. All right, guys, tip number 4. This is something I just didn't pay attention to be perfectly honest with you. And I don't know if it's necessarily my fault. It wasn't like in the I mean, I started playing this game back when it first came out, and this stuff wasn't just told to you. Kind of, I don't know. It's not really told to you now, but it's like I feel like it's more noticeable. So if this may not be something that you realize, and maybe something that you do. So biggest thing that I would say focus on when you're picking out things that you like to wear are your set bonuses. Now they're pretty obvious nowadays because of the side effects bar over here, and you get to see everything that your armor and everything does for you. But once you put all this on, you need to look at your set bonuses and what they give you. So if you're wearing all roly-poly armor, you're gonna get invincible shielding, chances to automatically repair shield on a block. Great, that's awesome, obviously. And then if you could change it up, obviously once you replace one piece of that, you lose the set bonus. And if you replace it with, let's say, the red ant armor, which is probably one of the most beneficial ones in my opinion, because it does something that no other one does. Makes you a human ant. Red ants now see you as one of them, and they won't touch you, which means you can go explore the entire red ant cave system without worrying about a single freaking thing. And that's absolutely amazing. So look for your set bonuses when you're looking at armor and everything like that, things that you would like. I usually run, and this is, for the Into the Woods update, I usually either run roly-poly armor, depending on what I'm doing, or I like to run the antlion armor just because it's really good medium armor, and the biggest threat in my opinion, other than like termites obviously, but you don't really see termites until you go to the actual termite mound. But if you're exploring any of this this upper area, you're gonna run into the stupid ladybird larva, and the ladybird larva do a sizzle damage. Antlion armor will reduce that, so that's absolutely amazing. So focus on set bonuses, see what you like to play with, see the different effects that gear does for you, and pick the one you like. Something I didn't pay attention to, but I hope that you guys do. Moving on. All right. Tip number 5. Final tip is what I'm gonna give you. Early on in the game, bugs like this, or insects, or not insect, arachnids like this, are gonna pose a problem for sure. So my biggest tip for you, get them to fight other bugs. Like this guy. Let's see. Shoot me, brother. So there we go. So pretty much any bug that's aggressive, you can get to fight each other. They just have to hit each other. So once they hit each other, they start fighting. And honestly, these are two similarly difficult bugs in the beginning. And either one of these win, I get cool pieces out of them. So more than likely, I think the spider's gonna win this one. But getting bugs to fight each other is a great way to, oh, okay, my bad. Bombardier beetle took it. And I can monopolize on it because he's damaged now. So now I get both bugs with me having to do nothing but get the spider, or to get the bombardier beetle to finally hit the spider and then piss the spider off and they start fighting. Now I've gained all of these parts, and just with a couple of arrows, I was able to win. So that's probably like the biggest tip I can give you. Get bugs to fight each other. Get these insects to start fighting each other, because once they start fighting each other, you come out on top. Just get out of the way and let them go crazy. I will let you know some big tips on this. Some great bugs to use are like ladybugs, because what you can do is you can just stand on top of a ladybug, get them to fight, get them to get hit, and then they'll start fighting, and they have so much health that they usually end up winning against whatever's fighting them. Like that's a huge one, I can tell you. Also, roly-polies. Whatever you're fighting, get them to hit a roly-poly, and roly-poly will take that mother out. Stink bugs are another great one. Those are just a little bit harder to kind of finesse because you might get hit by the stink a little bit. So you don't want to get hit by the gas because that's going to take you out. So those are some of the biggest tips I can give you. I want to thank you guys for making it this far in the video. If you guys like this video at all, please hit that like button. Show some love. You guys know I love you. And if you like me at all, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to be coming out with a ton of grounded content. I absolutely love this game, and I think I've said that pretty much in every video I've made about it, and I like making content about it. If there's anything you guys want to know, if there's any tips or tricks that you guys know that you want to leave in the comments for anybody who's new to this game and they want to check that out, they can go to the comments and see even more tips and tricks. Some more stuff you want to see from me, I'll make videos on it. Thank you guys for watching. Hey, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.